Okay, dear students, uh, welcome to the next video on the chapter Organic Compounds, class 11 Science Chemistry. Now, what are organic compounds? The compounds in solid, liquid or gaseous state which contain, over here, okay, which contain carbon in its molecule. Carbon has to be there, are known as organic compounds. These There are a large number of organic compounds and therefore a proper systematic classification was required. Organic compounds can be broadly classified as cyclic. When I say cyclic, it is open chain, and acyclic is open chain and cyclic is closed chain. So try to go through this chart very properly and carefully. First start with organic compounds. Open chain, closed chain. Then we have straight chain compounds under open chain, branched chain compounds under open chain. And we stop here only. Okay, that is straight and branched only. But under cyclic compound there are some more. Homocyclic, containing same element in the cycle. Heterocyclic, containing different elements in the cycle. Under homocyclic we have got alicyclic and aromatic. Alicyclic means which are non-aromatic, you can say. And other one is aromatic compounds, like example benzene. Okay, now moving to the next slide, we have in detail acyclic or open chain compounds. These compounds are also known as aliphatic compounds. They have branched or straight chains, and some examples are given. Ethane. Ethane is an alkane. The next one is isobutane. This is the common trivial name, isobutane. This will be called, if you follow the IUPAC nomenclature, it will be 2-methyl butane. Okay, it will be 2-methyl butane. Then we have got acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde. This is the common name, acetaldehyde. Otherwise, this will be, call it ethanol. Ethanol, aldehyde. Then we have got acetic acid. These are all open chain compounds. Acetic acid, there are two carbon atoms, so it is called ethanoic acid. Okay. Now moving on to the next slide. Under alicyclic or closed chain or ring compounds. Now these are cyclic compounds which contain carbon atoms connected to each other in a ring. All the vertices of this triangle which you see contain carbon atoms. These are all examples over here of closed chain or ring compounds. But you see carefully, the first one, this second one, and this third one, these come under homocyclic. But the fourth one over here, the fourth example, which is called tetrahydrofuran, it contains carbon, but there is an oxygen in the ring. Okay, so that becomes heterocyclic. That makes tetrahydrofuran heterocyclic. Now, please keep in mind, this alicyclic or closed chain or ring compounds exhibit some properties similar to aliphatic compounds as well. Okay. Now, next slide. Now let's come to aromatic compounds. They are a special type of compounds which contain benzene and other ring related compounds. Similar to alicyclic, they can also have heteroatoms in the ring. Such compounds are called heterocyclic aromatic compounds. Some examples are given below, classified under benzenoid aromatic compounds. First one is benzene. Benzene, you must practice drawing the structure of benzene. Okay, it is written this way or written this way also. Both mean the same. Then the next one is aniline. Then there is naphthalene, there is anthracene, phenanthrene, and so on. Okay, so these are some examples of aromatic compounds. Okay, then moving on to the next slide, we have non-benzenoid aromatic compound. These are still aromatic, but these are non-benzenoid, we can say. Okay, containing 6, 7 member or maybe 8 member. Okay, so here there's one example over here of non-benzenoid aromatic compounds. Okay. Then we have got heterocyclic aromatic compounds. Heterocyclic, I was talking that time. Please remember these names. Furan, example of heterocyclic aromatic compounds. These questions can be asked in the multiple choice in your ISC examination or maybe in a competitive examination also. Furan. Okay. The next one is thiophene. The next is pyridine. Pyridine. Okay. Okay. Now moving on to the next slide over here. Organic compounds can also be classified on the basis of functional groups into families or homologous series. What are the functional groups? A functional group can be defined as an atom or a group of atoms that are joined together in specific manner which is responsible for the characteristic chemical properties of organic compounds. Examples in this case are the hydroxyl group, aldehyde group, and carboxylic acid group. So, classification is also done on the basis of functional group. Which functional group is present in the organic compound, which is of course a homologous series. The next one we have is over here something about homologous series. As you have learned this definition, meaning of homologous series in class 10, a group or a series of organic compounds in which each member contains the same characteristic functional group and differs from each other by a fixed unit from a homologous series, and therefore its members are known as homologous to each other. The members of the homologous series can be represented by a general formula, and the successive members differ from each other in the molecular formula by a unit. The unit is CH2 unit. They differ by a CH2 unit. There are a number of homologous series in organic chemistry, such as alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, haloalkanes, alkanols, amines, etc. Okay. Now let us see. There are some questions from whatever I have done till now. You please go through these questions. What is meant by organic compounds? Very simple question. Organic compound, one of a large class of chemical compounds in which one or more carbon atoms are covalently paired with other elements atoms, most commonly hydrogen, oxygen, or nitrogen. First question. Then, what is an example of an organic chemical? Now, this, for examples, organic chemicals can include gasoline, plastics, polyvinyl chloride, detergents, colorants, food additives, natural gas, and drugs. Soap and detergent are two different examples of organic chemistry, although both are useful for washing. Next question. What are the uses of organic compounds? Organic compounds are basically they used in a variety of industries in human society, including food, pharmaceuticals, fuels, and building, to name but a few. Alkanes include chemical substances such as propane, octane, and methane. They are used in the fuels also. They are commonly used as oils for items like gasoline in the car and heating cooking oil in the home. Now, a basic question, why are organic compounds useful? Organic compounds are essential because they contain carbon in all living organisms. They are the basic components that move the world in many of the cycles. For example, the carbon cycle. This you'll be learning in biology also, which involves exchange of carbon in photosynthesis and cell respiration between plants and animals. What organic compounds are used in medicine? Compounds used as medicinal products are most usually organic compounds, sometimes divided into large groups of small organic molecules. Example, atorvastatin, fluticasone, clopidogrel, and biologics. Okay, all these are there. Biological terms. The latter more widely used as protein medicinal products in medicine. Okay. Then, what are organic and inorganic compounds? Organic chemistry is the study of carbon compounding molecules, whereas inorganic chemistry, by contrast, is study of all compounds that do not contain carbon compounds. How do you know if a compound is organic? A material is organic if it contains carbon bound to other atoms by by sharing. The other atoms most commonly contain hydrogen, oxygen, and or maybe nitrogen. Few compounds, including simple oxides, carbon dioxide, cyanides, are arbitrarily omitted. They do not come under organic chemistry. Next, what are simple organic compounds? The simplest organic compounds are the hydrocarbons, which only contain hydrogen and carbon. Alkenes only contain single carbon hydrogen and carbon carbon bonds. Alkenes contain at least one carbon carbon double bond, and alkynes contain one or more triple carbon carbon bonds. Okay. Now, next question: where do organic compounds come from? That is a very serious question to be understood over here. An organic compound is a member of a class of chemicals containing carbon atoms bound to one another and to other atoms by covalent bonds and found in the cells of living organisms. Hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen are typical elements which, in addition to carbon, make up organic compounds as well. Okay. Then the last question over here, second last question. How can you identify an organic compound? How to identify? How to know whether a given compound is organic or something else? Organic compounds, any of a large class of chemical compounds in which one or more carbon atoms are covalently bound to atoms of other elements, most commonly hydrogen, oxygen, or nitrogen. The only carbon containing compounds not known as organic include carbides, calcium carbide, carbonate, sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate, cyanides, potassium cyanide, and so on. This will not come under organic chemistry. Now, what are the properties of organic compounds? Okay. Usually, the physical properties of organic compounds of interest provide both quantitative as well as qualitative characteristics. Quantity as well as quality. Quantitative information includes the melting point, the boiling point, and the refraction index. Qualitative properties include smell, odor, durability, solubility, and color. Okay. Now the next thing I would like to discuss is about the nomenclature, IUPAC nomenclature. What is IUPAC nomenclature over here? A single chemical compound can have several acceptable systematic names and the systematic method of naming. Organic chemical compounds is called IUPAC nomenclature. But no two compounds can have the same name. Now, first thing that I'd like to do is discuss with you all is IUPAC nomenclature of alkanes, alkynes, or maybe alkenes. This method of nomenclature is known as IUPAC naming or IUPAC nomenclature. Okay. Now, before going to the rules and the methods of naming them, have a look at some aromatic compounds. Okay. This chart is very important. Okay. The first one over here, it is a benzene ring. It is a benzene ring containing, two chlorine atoms in position 1 and 2. So this becomes 1,2 dichlorobenzene. Did you get that? The next one over here, again two chlorine atoms, position 1, 2, and 3. Let's go to the first one again. The IUPAC name is 1,2 dichlorobenzene, and this position is called ortho. Okay, just a minute. Let me clarify some things over here. Now, over here, regarding the position, say This is the benzene ring, okay. Remember, if you number the carbon atoms this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can number the carbon atoms in this manner also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Normally we prefer this numbering, okay. Now, this carbon 2 position of the benzene ring, it is called ortho position. This is meta position, and this one is, it is called para position. Okay, this is ortho, meta, and para position. So keep this in mind. This will help in nomenclature of organic compounds. Okay, now come back to the second slide. Now you will have a clearer picture. Look at the first one. It is either 1,2-dichlorobenzene or the chlorine atom. It is present on the ortho position, so we can call it ortho dichlorobenzene, or simply O dichlorobenzene. Are you getting it? Or simply O dichlorobenzene, isn't it? Have a look over here. Let us see, ortho dichlorobenzene. You see, okay. Now I am going to draw the benzene ring. There is chlorine over here. There is chlorine over here. Okay. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we name it as either 1,2 dichlorobenzene, or it is called ortho. We write ortho, and then dichlorobenzene, or simply O, small o, and then dichlorobenzene. Okay, I think this is understood. Okay, now come back to the slide again. 1,2-dichlorobenzene, ortho-dichlorobenzene. Similarly over here, 1,3-dichlorobenzene. So this position is meta position. So meta-dichlorobenzene, M-dichlorobenzene. Then we have 1,4-dichlorobenzene, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,4-dichlorobenzene, para. This is the para position. Okay. Now, after this, if you look at this example over here, there is bromine atom, this is chlorine atom. Alphabetically, B comes before C. So this is taken as carbon 1. So it is 1 bromo, 3 chlorobenzene. Or we can say meta, chloro, bromo, and benzene. Here, this is a methyl group. This is a bromine. Okay, so it is called 2. This methyl group dominates the halogen. So that's why 2 bromo, you can call it. This one is toluene. Only this much is what? This much is toluene. This is something new. You have to remember this also. Try to remember. This is toluene. This is called toluene. This is what? Toluene. Toluene is also called methylbenzene. Another one. This is aniline. What is this? This is aniline. A-N-I-L-I-N-E. Aniline. Okay, so this is all you have to get used to this formula. Then come to the next one. There are 2 methyl groups. So 1,2-dimethylbenzene. Easy. This aniline, no? See, the parent benzenoid, it's aniline. So 2 amino, we can say 2 amino toluene is there. Okay, they have taken this way. So this methyl group is dominating the aniline amine part. So it is becoming 1, 2, 3 amino toluene. Are you getting it? So methyl group is dominating any other groups which are linked to the chain. Then we have got again 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one, it is 4-hydroxytoluene. Okay, this is next one is orthohydroxybenzoic acid. Benzoic acid is now dominating what? The hydroxy group. So orthohydroxybenzoic acid or salicylic acid. Hmm. Then we have 1,2,3 dihydroxybenzene. It is called resorcinol. The common name is also important. This one is paracresol, orthocresol, paracresol, metacresol, paracresol. Then you have got diuretic. These all are not required this year, but naming you should be able to practice. Okay. So these are some examples of nomenclature of aromatic compounds. Now, before moving into the depth of the nomenclature, let us understand what is meant by IUPAC nomenclature. Now, IUPAC, as per your previous knowledge, it stands for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Okay. It is an internationally recognized body that has systematically named all chemical organic compounds, substances. How do you identify an alkene containing carbon-carbon double bond? Okay, how do you identify? A simple bromine, a simple bromine water test might be used to tell the difference between an alkane and an alkene. As the bromine reacts with carbon-carbon double bond, an alkene over here can turn brown bromine water colorless. So that is a distinctive test between an alkane and an alkene. This reaction will actually occur for unsaturated compounds containing double bonds in carbon-carbon form. How do we name alkenes? Alkenes and alkynes are named for the longest chain containing a double or triple bond. The chain is numbered to minimize the number of double or triple bonds assigned to it. The compound suffix is used ene for an alkene and yne is used for an alkyne. Okay. Now, looking at the basic rules over here, basic rules for naming organic compounds. This I will do with the help of examples. Okay. This I will do by using some examples. Now let us see. Okay. Now I will do one or two examples over here to help and understand the nomenclature of organic compounds. Okay. Let me take one example. IUPAC nomenclature. IUPAC nomenclature. Here, one example. I am writing a structural formula CH3, CH2, CH, CH2, CH2, CH, CH3, then CH2, then CH3. Okay, let us see. How many carbon atoms in the longest chain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here I have not written the functional group OH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first thing to be kept in mind is numbering the longest chain, but the correct numbering from either side. We cannot number from here. We cannot number from here because the functional group is far away from this carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is far away. So that is why we number from this carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Numbering is done. Once numbering is done, the first thing to be written down is word root for this compound. Okay, word root is there are 8 carbon atoms, so it is oct. We write what? We write oct. Oct. And all these carbon atoms are linked to each other by carbon-carbon single bond, so we write it as octane. This oct is word root ane. It is the what is ane? It is the primary suffix. After primary suffix comes secondary suffix. The primary suffix is done. So now what is the secondary suffix? In this organic compound containing 8 carbon atoms in the straight chain, the functional group is OH, which is present on the third carbon atom. So we write it as 3-ol. The third carbon atom is containing an alcohol. So we write it as 3-ol. So octane, octane dash 3 dash ol. Now the prefix. Now the prefix tells us about any other side chain branching. So here in this compound, if you see very carefully, the sixth carbon atom is containing a branching by a methyl group over here. So in the prefix we have got 6-methyl octane 3-ol. That is how you name the organic compound according to the IUPAC nomenclature. Understood, no? Okay. Now let us see a few more examples about this nomenclature. Okay. Now another example. Let us see number two. Example number two. Okay. Example number two. I am taking very simple compound. Using the bond line notation. I am writing Cl bond bond bond. There I'll put a double bond and there is an hydrogen over here. Okay. This compound may also be written properly without using the bond line notation. CH2 CH2 C double bond OH. Okay. This gives a clearer picture about this structure which is in the bond line notation. Now the functional group is here. This is the functional group. Okay. So what I must do? I must number the chain, longest chain starting from this carbon. 1, 2, 3. How many carbon atoms? There are 3 carbon atoms in the longest chain. And this is the function group. It is a CHO. It is an aldehyde. So 1, 2, 3. Prop ANAL. Propanal. Propanal. And the third carbon atom is containing a chlorine. Prop N. Why N? Because all these carbon atoms are single carbon carbon single bond. So prop and aldehyde. And the third carbon atom is having the chlorine. So we write 3 chloro. 3 chloro. Chloropropanol. That is the correct IUPAC name of this compound. Okay. Now ahead to some other types of IUPAC nomenclature questions. Let us see. I want to another one, slightly maybe using only bond line notation. I'm going to draw a structure like this. Have a look very carefully. This is quite interesting one. Here there is a triple bond and then single bond. So this is the structure, bond line notation structure, which may be opened up, in this manner. I am opening it up. Here I write CH3, then CH2, then CH2, then and this point is, I can write it as C carbon. Okay. Then I go up CH2, then I go up CH2, then the end CH3. Here it is CH3. And after that there is carbon. There is a triple bond. So I put a triple bond, then carbon over here, and then finally CH3. Okay. This structure is written in this manner. Okay. Now the numbering. From where will I number? This is a pure hydrocarbon, the third homologous series of hydrocarbons, which is alkynes, which can be seen clearly in this picture over here, because there is at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. Okay, so definitely I am going to number this compound from this carbon. Carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. I can go either way. Okay. I can go up also, I can go into the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So there are 7 carbon atoms in the longest chain in this organic compound. Therefore, the word root for 7 carbon atoms, the word root for 7 carbon atoms is what? It is hept. H-E-P-T, hept. And after the word root comes the primary suffix. Carbon 2 and carbon 3, they contain a triple bond. So it is, I must write 2YNE. Okay. Then after that comes the secondary suffix. There is no functional group present in this organic compound. So that remains blank. Nothing to be written under secondary suffix. Then come to number 4, that is the prefix. Now the side chain branching, it is happening at carbon 4. In carbon 4 it is containing a 1, 2, 3. This one is a propyl group. Propane, propane is like this: CH3, CH2, CH3. Okay, this is propane. So what is propyl? If I remove one of the hydrogens from the terminal carbon, it becomes CH2, CH2, CH3. The bond is there. Okay, so this is attached to this carbon over here. So this group becomes a propyl. In the condensed form, I can write C3H7. 2 plus 2, 4, 3, 7. So this becomes a propyl group. So that is why this propyl group is linked to the 4th carbon. So I'll write in the prefix as 4 propyl. 4 propyl hept 2-ine. This is the correct IUPAC name of this compound. Okay. Now, my dear students, this was the second example. Okay. Let me do one example, the nomenclature of this organic compounds. Okay. The what do you call aliphatic, under the aliphatic nomenclature. Let me look for one more good example for you all. Now, yeah, I got it. So have a look at this. I'm using bond line. Okay, then this one, and there is a cyanide. This is the bond line notation. Okay, now this compound can be written in this manner. Here it is CH3 straight, CH2. Okay, then CH, then over here there is CH3, then CH2. Are you getting it? Then finally there is CN. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that is done. Okay. Now there is a functional group cyanide over here. Cyanide. In chemistry over here, in organic chemistry, this CN group. Normally it is called cyanide, but it is a nitrile. Okay. It is what? It is a nitrile. So now what is the next thing to be done? Next thing is to be number the carbon atoms. We have to number not from here, number it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So there are 5 carbon atoms in the longest chain. So this compound, the word root becomes pent. Pent, primary suffix is A-N-E, pent N. Okay. The functional group is CN, so pent N nitrile. Pent N nitrile. And there is a branching at the 3rd carbon atom, so we write it as 3,3-methyl pent N nitrile, which is the correct IUPAC name of this compound. Okay, so we have got some very wonderful idea today about how to open up and write the bond line notation formula of organic compound. That is quite marvelous. Okay. Now, my dear students, in my next video, I'll be continuing with this nomenclature, including maybe aromatic compounds as well. Okay, so this much for today. Please go through the video carefully, and you can pause the video several times and go through the example which I have shown you with regard to the nomenclature. Thank you so much.